Welcome to the Expensive Coins History channel, our deep dive into one of the most overlooked yet fascinating coins from the United Kingdom's modern numismatic history, the 1991 Queen Elizabeth I 1 penny coin, specifically the version without any mint mark. While it may seem like a simple piece of copper-plated metal at first glance, this coin has a rich story that intertwines with British history, the evolution of coinage, and the world of coin collecting. In this video, we will thoroughly explore the origins of this penny, its design and physical characteristics, the nuances behind its minting, its rarity and collector appeal, and of course, its current value in the coin market as of 2025. Whether you are a seasoned collector, a history enthusiast, or just curious about coins, you'll find this comprehensive analysis both informative and engaging. To fully appreciate the 1991 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth I 1 penny coin, we first need to understand the era and context in which it was produced. The coin belongs to a series minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who ascended to the throne in 1952. This series, featuring the Queen's image on the obverse or front side, has undergone several design changes reflecting both artistic trends and changes in technology over the decades. The 1991 penny is notable for featuring the fourth portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklauf, which was introduced in 1985 and used until 1997. This portrait depicts the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, an iconic and detailed design that reflects the dignity and tradition of the monarchy. The coin represents a mature period in the Queen's reign, symbolizing stability and continuity. What makes the 1991 penny without a mint mark particularly interesting is its production at the Royal Mint's main facility. Unlike some coins that bear mint marks identifying where they were produced, such as Llantrisant in Wales or the Royal Mint in England, this penny carries no such mark, indicating it was struck at the principal Royal Mint plant, historically located in London but by this time fully operational at Llantrisant. This coin was part of the standard circulation coins used daily across the UK, facilitating millions of everyday transactions. The penny, being the smallest denomination of British currency at the time, played an essential role in everyday commerce, despite its low monetary value. Let's take a closer look at the physical features of this coin. The 1991 penny is made primarily from bronze, a metal alloy that was traditionally used in penny production until changes in coin composition in later years. It has a diameter of approximately 20.3 mm and weighs about 3.56 grams. This size and weight gave the coin a substantial feel compared to some modern lightweight coins, making it durable for everyday use. On the obverse side, as mentioned earlier, is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Raphael Maklauf. This effigy is characterized by a regal and detailed depiction of the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, surrounded by the inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, which stands for Elizabeth II de Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse side of the coin features the denomination inscription, 1 penny, in a bold, easily readable font. Surrounding the inscription is a simple yet elegant design featuring a portcullis with chains, a traditional emblem associated with the Palace of Westminster. This design had been in use since the late 1970s and remained consistent through the early 1990s, representing the stability of the UK's coinage design during that period. The year 1991 saw the production of hundreds of millions of these pennies, making it a very common coin in circulation. Unlike earlier centuries where coin minting was a limited and often localized process, the 1991 penny was struck using highly mechanized and efficient presses at the Royal Mint, capable of producing coins in vast quantities with remarkable consistency. No mint mark on this penny signifies that it was produced at the main Royal Mint location. During this period, the Royal Mint's primary production facility was in Llantrisant, Wales, but the coins did not carry an identifying mark to differentiate the facility. This contrasts with some other minting years or coin types that include small letters or symbols as mint marks. Because of the high mintage numbers, exceeding 200 million pieces, these pennies were extremely common in circulation. This abundance has an impact on their collectability and market value today, which we will discuss in more detail later. While the 1991 no-mint mark penny was widespread, rarity in coin collecting is not solely about mintage figures. It is also influenced by factors such as condition, errors, historical significance, and market demand. In general, the 1991 penny without mint mark is considered a common coin. Because so many were minted and circulated, most coins today can be found in worn or circulated condition, having passed through countless hands over more than 3 decades. However, condition plays a critical role in collector interest. Coins preserved in uncirculated or mint condition, those showing no signs of wear, maintaining their original luster and sharpness, can be more desirable to collectors. Such coins are rarer simply because most coins were used in everyday transactions and naturally incurred scratches, dings, and discoloration. Moreover, some collectors seek out coins with minor minting errors or variations that might occur during production. Although the 1991 penny does not have widely known or significant error varieties that command high premiums, individual examples with minor die cracks, off-center strikes, or other anomalies can attract interest from specialized collectors. Fast forward to the current year, 2025, and the value of the 1991 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth I 1 penny coin remains modest. Due to its vast mintage and common availability, most circulated coins have little more than their face value. Collectors or sellers can generally expect a coin in circulated condition to be worth close to 1 penny sterling, or slightly above, especially if sold in bulk or as part of a larger collection. However, coins in better condition, graded as very fine, extremely fine, or uncirculated by professional numismatic standards, can fetch higher prices. For instance, a coin in very fine condition may be worth a couple of pounds or euros, while an extremely fine or uncirculated coin could potentially reach upwards of 20 to 30 pounds, depending on the market and buyer interest. It is important to note that the coin's value is not just a matter of condition but also market demand, which fluctuates. In years where British coin collecting gains renewed interest, or where specific collecting niches focus on pennies from the late 20th century, prices can rise accordingly. Despite this, the 1991 penny is generally not considered a high-value coin, especially when compared to rare British pennies from earlier periods, such as the 1933 penny, which can command prices in the hundreds of thousands of pounds due to their extreme rarity. Many coin collectors and enthusiasts new to British coinage sometimes believe that the lack of a mint mark or certain production features automatically implies rarity or value. This is not necessarily the case with the 1991 no-mint mark penny. The absence of a mint mark simply identifies its production at the main Royal Mint facility and does not indicate scarcity. While some coins with mint marks from certain years or locations can be rare, the 1991 penny's widespread production negates this. Additionally, some may confuse the 1991 penny with other rare and valuable pennies from British history. For example, the 1933 penny is one of the most famous British coins because of its extremely limited number of coins struck and surviving. These pennies are incredibly valuable but belong to a completely different era and category. It is important for collectors to understand the historical context and the difference between rarity caused by limited mintage and condition-based scarcity. If you possess a 1991 no-mint mark penny or come across one, here are some practical tips to maximize its value. First, assess the coin's condition carefully. Look for signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. Coins in better condition should be handled with care and ideally kept in protective holders to preserve their state. Second, consider professional grading services if you believe your coin is in exceptional condition. A certified grade can help establish authenticity and condition, potentially increasing the coin's value when selling. Third, be realistic about the market value. While the 1991 penny may hold sentimental or historical interest, it is not likely to be worth large sums of money unless it is in mint condition or possesses rare errors. Finally, engage with the coin collecting community. Online forums, local coin clubs, and auctions can offer valuable insights, potential buyers, or trading opportunities. The 1991 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth I 1 penny coin is a fascinating piece of British numismatic history. Though common and widely circulated, it carries the imagery of a long-reigning monarch and the craftsmanship of the Royal Mint during a stable period in British coin production. Its value today is modest but respectable for collectors who appreciate the historical and aesthetic qualities of everyday coins. Whether you are just beginning to collect or looking to understand the nuances of British pennies, the 1991 penny serves as a reminder that even the smallest coins have stories worth telling. The 1992 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 1 penny coin from the United Kingdom. This is more than just a small copper-plated disc, it's a coin steeped in modern history, minted in the final decade of the 20th century, and representing a significant era in British coinage. Stay with us as we explore its origins, design features, mintage numbers, why some people believe it's rare, and the real facts about its value in today's market, especially as we stand in the year 2025. The year 1992 was a time of political, economic, and cultural transformation in the United Kingdom. It was during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose profile dominated the obverse side of virtually all UK currency. The coinage system had already undergone several important transitions in the decades prior, most notably the decimalisation in 1971, which introduced the modern decimal penny. By 1992, the 1 penny coin had already become a familiar sight in the hands of the British public. While earlier versions of the 1 penny were made from bronze, 1992 marked one of the transitional years where the Royal Mint moved to using copper-plated steel. This change was made primarily for cost-effectiveness and efficiency in minting. Despite being seen as a regular coin, the 1992 1 penny holds particular interest because it represents a bridge between traditional and modern coin production, combining the classical portraiture of the monarch with newly adopted materials and minting processes. Let's look closely at the design. On the obverse side, you'll find the elegant third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Raphael Maklauf. This effigy was used from 1985 to 1997 and is characterized by its regal profile of the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem. Her image is dignified, refined, and captures a sense of permanence that defined her monarchy during that era. The inscription around the edge reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, followed by the date, in this case, 1992. This Latin inscription translates to, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse side, the design features the crowned portcullis with chains, a symbolic design that was originally a badge of Henry VII and later adopted by the Palace of Westminster. It is surrounded by the words, 1 penny. This reverse was designed by Christopher Ironside and is one of the most iconic reverse designs in British decimal coinage. The coin has a smooth edge, a diameter of approximately 20.3 mm, and weighs around 3.56 grams. Now, let's address a critical point. How many of these coins were made? The 1992 1 penny had a massive mintage, with over 254 million coins produced for general circulation. Unlike some earlier or later dates with limited runs, the 1992 penny was mass-produced to meet everyday transactional needs. It was struck at the Royal Mint's facility and, as with most UK coins, it does not carry a mint mark. This absence of a mint mark sometimes confuses new collectors, especially those familiar with the mint mark conventions of other countries like the United States. However, In the UK, circulation coins typically do not bear a mint mark at all. Therefore, the term "no mint mark" is not an error or variety, it's standard practice. Despite the enormous quantity struck, there have been discussions in collector communities about potential anomalies, coins struck on bronze blanks, or coins with slight die differences. However, these are extremely scarce and not officially confirmed as separate varieties by major grading institutions. Now, let's talk about rarity, a word that gets thrown around a lot in coin collecting. The 1992 one-penny coin is not rare by any official standard. Its high mintage and widespread availability mean that it is still commonly found in change, in old jars, or at the bottom of drawers. For the average example found in circulated condition, the coin's worth is generally limited to its face value. There is a common misconception among newer collectors or online sellers that the coin is rare due to the lack of a mint mark or simply because it's old. But in numismatic terms, age alone does not equate to rarity. Instead, rarity is determined by a combination of factors: mintage numbers, survival rate, demand, and the presence of notable errors or variations. That said, coins in pristine condition, such as those graded as uncirculated or in mint state, can command a modest premium due to their appeal to collectors who are building high-grade date sets. While the standard circulation version is common, there is a special collector's version of the 1992 penny, namely, the proof issue. Proof coins are struck using specially prepared dies and planchets, resulting in a higher level of detail, mirror-like finishes, and overall superior quality. These were not intended for circulation and were issued as part of proof sets. The 1992 proof penny was struck in bronze, not copper-plated steel, and it was produced in significantly smaller quantities. For collectors, these proof coins are far more desirable than their circulating counterparts. Their value is typically determined by condition, packaging, and whether the original Royal Mint presentation is intact. A pristine, cased proof example can fetch several times the face value, especially if it is graded and encapsulated by a professional coin grading service. For most circulated examples, the value remains nominal. These coins typically trade hands for between 1 and 10 pence, depending on condition. High-grade uncirculated examples may be worth between £1 and £5 to a collector, particularly if the coin is in mint state with no signs of wear. Proof examples, especially those housed in original mint packaging, may range in value from £5 to £15 or slightly more, depending on market demand and condition. If certified by a third-party grading company and assigned a high numerical grade such as PF68 or PF69, the value can increase further. Despite occasional online listings exaggerating the value of this coin, there is currently no credible evidence that the standard 1992 penny, without any known error or variation, sells for significantly high prices in any legitimate numismatic marketplace. The 1992 no mint Mark I penny coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a common yet historically interesting coin. It reflects an important era of transition in British currency and remains a staple in many beginner collections. For casual collectors, it offers a great opportunity to explore the intricacies of British coin design and minting standards. For more advanced numismatists, its real value may lie in finding exceptionally high-grade examples or acquiring the rarer proof versions. Remember, in coin collecting, knowledge is your most valuable asset. Always do your research, verify claims of rarity, and collect what brings you joy and satisfaction. The 1993 no mint Mark I penny coin featuring the late Queen Elizabeth II. Many people have asked, is it rare? Is it worth thousands? Does it have any hidden historical significance? And what is its market value in 2025? Well, get comfortable, because we're going to cover everything, from its production background to its collectability, and everything in between. To understand the value of the 1993 Queen Elizabeth II 1 penny coin, we first need to understand its origins. The United Kingdom has a long-standing tradition of minting coins featuring the reigning monarch. In 1993, Queen Elizabeth II was already in her fourth decade on the throne, and the nation was well into the decimal era of British coinage. The penny in question was minted during a period of stability in UK coin production. The Royal Mint had transitioned from using bronze to copper-plated steel in 1992, meaning that by 1993, the coins were already being struck on the newer, more cost-effective metal composition. This particular 1 penny coin continued to use the standard reverse design, which depicted the crowned portcullis with chains, a design based on the badge of Henry VII and symbolizing the British Parliament. On the obverse, the coin carried the third official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklauf, which had been in use since 1985. Let's break down the design elements in more detail. On the obverse side, you'll find the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II facing right. Her mature likeness is dignified and regal, showing her wearing the royal diadem, a symbol of state authority. Around the edge of the coin is the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD followed by the date, 1993. This inscription stands for De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse, the crowned portcullis is centered, detailed with symmetrical chain links on either side. Just beneath the crown is the word 1 penny, and the denomination 1 sits below the image. The design is symmetrical, balanced, and steeped in British symbolism. The coin has a plain edge, which is typical of lower denomination UK coins. The coin weighs approximately 3.56 grams and has a diameter of 20.3 millimeters. Because of the switch to copper-plated steel, it is also magnetic, which makes it easily distinguishable from the earlier bronze coins. Now comes the part that confuses many collectors, the so-called no mint mark aspect. It's important to clarify that UK coins, including the 1 penny coin, do not typically carry mint marks to denote the facility where they were produced. Unlike coins from the United States, where mint marks like D or S can indicate Denver or San Francisco, the Royal Mint in the UK has historically not included mint marks on general circulation coins. So when we refer to the 1993 no mint mark penny, we're not talking about an error or a special variation. This is the standard production version. However, confusion sometimes arises due to collectors mistakenly believing that the absence of a mint mark indicates rarity or a misprint, when in fact, it simply reflects the standard minting practice in the UK. In terms of mintage numbers, the 1993 1 penny coin had a very high production volume. Hundreds of millions were struck for general circulation. The coin was also included in annual proof sets and uncirculated sets for collectors, further adding to the supply. With such high mintage figures, the coin is classified as common in the world of numismatics. Due to its widespread use, the majority of these coins are still in circulation today or stored in drawers, jars, and piggy banks across the United Kingdom. Because of the newer metal composition, many have remained relatively intact without excessive corrosion, though older coins may show signs of tarnish, rust, or wear depending on their storage conditions. Despite its high mintage and wide availability, rumors have persisted over the years that this coin may be rare. Much of this stems from misleading internet articles or viral social media posts claiming that a no mint mark version of the coin is extremely valuable. In reality, this is misinformation. There are no confirmed mint errors or unique varieties of the 1993 1 penny coin that have made headlines or fetched extraordinary prices at auction. Unlike coins with die cracks, double strikes, or misalignments, which can be genuinely valuable, the standard 1993 penny does not contain any such known minting anomalies that would drive its value into the hundreds or thousands. That being said, a flawless, uncirculated coin kept in a sealed mint condition set may attract modest interest from casual collectors or those assembling complete yearly sets of UK coinage. So let's get to the heart of the matter. What is the 1993 1-penny coin actually worth in 2025? In circulated condition, the value of the coin remains its face value, 1 penny. That's it. It's not rare. It's not scarce. It's not especially sought after. In fact, many coin dealers and numismatic experts would not purchase it individually unless it was part of a bulk lot or a mint condition proof set.in brilliant uncirculated or proof condition. Its value can be slightly higher, generally ranging between a few cents to a couple of pounds, depending on the buyer, the quality, and the market demand at the time. At most, in absolutely flawless, graded mint state condition, say MS65 or higher, a 1993 penny might fetch a few dollars or pounds from a specialist collector who is focused on high-grade decimal coinage, but the idea that this coin could be worth thousands is largely based on confusion with rare U.S. pennies, such as the 1992 or 1993 Lincoln cents with close AM or double die errors, which are entirely unrelated. If you're a collector, the 1993 1-penny coin still holds value, just not monetary value. It represents a historical period of coinage transition. It's part of the final decade before the introduction of newer portrait designs. And for those building full yearly sets of coins from Queen Elizabeth II's reign, the 1993 penny is still a required piece. To preserve its condition, store the coin in a dry, cool environment, preferably in a coin capsule or archival quality flip. Avoid handling the surfaces with bare fingers, and if you suspect you have an unusually perfect example, consider having it graded professionally by a numismatic grading service. In conclusion, the 1993 no mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 1-penny coin is a beautiful, historically rich piece of everyday British coinage. While it won't make you rich, it does offer a snapshot of 1990s Britain and the enduring legacy of Queen Elizabeth II. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone fascinated by coins, the 1993 penny is a wonderful piece to include in your collection, not because of its rarity, but because of its story. The 1994 1-penny coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II with no mint mark. You may be holding onto a coin that looks ordinary, but has a story rooted in decades of history, intricate design, large-scale production, and sometimes, subtle features that make all the difference. So let's uncover the complete story behind the 1994 Queen Elizabeth II 1-penny coin, explore its history, examine its rarity, assess its condition-dependent value, and understand what this coin is really worth in the current 2025 collector's market. In 1994, the Royal Mint continued its long-standing tradition of producing the 1-penny coin as part of the decimalized British currency system that began in 1971. This small copper-plated coin might seem like a minor component of the nation's coinage, but it carries the weight of legacy, national identity, and a monarch whose reign became one of the longest in history. The obverse of the coin proudly bears the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maclauff. This depiction shows the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, and it was the standard portrait used on UK coinage from 1985 until 1997. It reflects a mature and regal image of Her Majesty that many still remember fondly. The reverse of the coin features the badge of the House of Commons, a crowned portcullis, designed by Christopher Ironside. This design symbolizes Parliament, authority, and governance, rooted in a long-standing British tradition. At the bottom is the denomination inscription, 1 penny, along with the numerical value, 1, just above it. The coin itself is composed of copper-plated steel, introduced in 1992 as a replacement for the bronze composition used earlier. This change was primarily made for cost-efficiency reasons and has since remained the standard. The coin weighs approximately 3.56 grams and has a diameter of 20.3 millimeters. One of the most common questions asked is, why does this coin have no mint mark? Unlike coins from the United States, which often carry small mint letters indicating where they were produced, British decimal coins typically do not bear mint marks unless they were struck for specific occasions, limited editions, or produced outside the UK. The 1994 one penny was minted in extremely large quantities at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, and the absence of a mint mark is standard for this coin. Therefore, when we refer to the no mint mark 1994 penny, we are actually referring to the regular issue coin, not a rare error. The answer, in most cases, is no. This coin was minted in enormous quantities. Hundreds of millions were struck for circulation. As a result, most examples are considered common, especially in circulated condition. The vast majority of these coins were used in everyday transactions for years, passing through countless hands, vending machines, tills, and pockets. Because of this, the average 1994 penny found today will show signs of wear, including scratches, dull surfaces, and potentially corrosion if exposed to moisture due to the steel core beneath the copper plating. Condition plays a vital role in the coin's worth. Coins that have never been in circulation, known as uncirculated or mint-state coins, can command a premium among collectors, particularly if they retain their original mint luster and show no signs of handling. If a 1994 one penny coin is found in such condition, especially in a sealed set, a brilliant uncirculated folder, or carefully preserved from the day it was minted, it can attract collector interest. In the current market of 2025, circulated examples of this coin typically hold only their face value, 1 penny. However, in near mint-to-mint condition, values can range between a few pence to perhaps 50 pence or more depending on the coin's appeal and condition grading. Truly pristine examples graded by professional services and certified as high-grade specimens might push closer to $1 or more, though this is rare and usually applies only to coins graded MS65 and above. Now let's address the exciting possibilities, errors and varieties. While the standard 1994 penny is common, rare minting errors can dramatically increase a coin's value. Errors such as off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks can occur during the minting process. If these errors are significant and well preserved, they can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a valuable collector's piece. Another area where value can emerge is in so-called mule errors, where the obverse and reverse of a coin are mismatched, or when a coin is struck using dies meant for a different denomination or year. Although no widely known mule or major error involving the 1994 UK penny has come to public attention, coin collectors are always on the lookout, and any new discovery can create a buzz in the numismatic world. Additionally, coins that exhibit unusual toning, colors and hues that develop on the surface due to oxidation, can be attractive to collectors, depending on aesthetic appeal and the uniqueness of the pattern. However, toning must be natural. Artificial toning or cleaning can significantly diminish a coin's desirability. It is important to remember that cleaning coins, especially with abrasive materials or chemicals, is strongly discouraged in the numismatic community. It damages the surface and destroys original details, ultimately reducing or eliminating collectible value. Moving on to demand. Even though the 1994 penny is common, there remains steady interest in assembling date sets and type sets, especially for those collecting decimal coinage by year. For younger collectors, beginners, or those interested in the history of Queen Elizabeth's reign, these coins serve as accessible and educational entry points into the hobby. As such, there is a modest but consistent demand for high-quality examples. As we look ahead in 2025, the death of Queen Elizabeth II and the subsequent ascension of King Charles III have added historical significance to all coins bearing the likeness of Queen Elizabeth. Collectors and historians now view her coinage through the lens of a completed era, and this has led to a resurgence of interest in coins from throughout her reign. While this has not caused massive spikes in the value of common coins like the 1994 penny, it has certainly renewed attention to these coins and increased market activity for special issues, proof sets, and commemorative releases. The 1994 Queen Elizabeth II 1 penny coin with no mint mark is a regular circulation coin produced in high quantities. Its lack of a mint mark is completely normal for UK decimal coinage. In circulated condition, its value remains at or very near face value. In uncirculated or mint state condition, it may be worth more, potentially up to 50 pence or slightly more depending on eye appeal and grading. Error coins, though rare, could be worth considerably more, depending on the type and visibility of the error. And the recent historical shift in British monarchy has drawn renewed interest to all coins from Queen Elizabeth's long and distinguished reign. So, if you have a 1994 penny, don't throw it away. Examine it carefully. Check the edges. Look at the portrait. Study its surfaces. And if you think you may have something unusual, consider having it professionally examined. Sometimes, the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. The 1995 no mint mark Queen Elizabeth II 1 penny coin, while it may seem like just another ordinary piece of change, this coin carries with it a legacy of monarchy, national heritage, and subtle nuances that even seasoned collectors might overlook. So, whether you're a curious beginner or an advanced numismatist, this video is your complete guide to the origin, design, rarity, grading, and market value of the 1995 1 penny coin in the year 2025. The year is 1995. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch at the time, had already been the face of British currency for over 4 decades. The design on the 1 penny coin in 1995 features her third definitive portrait, created by Raphael Maklauf. This particular effigy of the Queen had been in circulation since 1985 and presented her wearing the George IV state diadem, with a more regal and mature demeanor than previous portraits. The obverse of the coin carries this well-known image, with the inscription surrounding it reading, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, which stands for, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. It's a formal recognition of her sovereign status and religious role as head of the Church of England. On the reverse side, you'll find a design that remains standard for decades, the crown portcullis, which is a stylized representation of the chains and gate of the Palace of Westminster. This design, though simple, is loaded with historical significance, connecting the coin to the very heart of British government and the identity of the nation. Now, what sets the 1995 penny apart from others minted in different parts of the world is its absence of a mint mark. In the UK, this is not unusual. Unlike coins minted in other countries such as the United States where specific mint marks designate where the coin was struck, British coins typically do not bear a mint mark unless they were produced for very specific commemorative purposes or special sets. So, a no mint mark 1995 1 penny coin from the UK is not necessarily an error or a rarity on its own, it simply follows standard minting conventions of the time. The 1995 1 penny coin is part of the decimal coinage system, which replaced the pre-decimal pounds, shillings, and pence system in 1971. This coin was minted in massive numbers, with production exceeding hundreds of millions of pieces in that year alone. The coin is made of copper-plated steel. Prior to 1992, UK pennies were minted from bronze, but due to rising metal costs, the composition was changed to a less expensive copper-plated steel alloy. This change also meant that the coin became slightly magnetic, a characteristic that can help distinguish it from older, non-magnetic bronze pennies. The coin weighs approximately 3.56 grams and has a diameter of 20.3 millimeters. Its thickness is roughly 1.52 millimeters, with a smooth edge and no edge lettering. Though small in size, its design, durability, and long-standing presence in everyday life make it instantly recognizable to generations of Britons. When discussing rarity, it's important to understand that not all coins are valuable simply because they're old. In the case of the 1995 one-penny coin, rarity is not about how long ago it was minted, but about how many have survived in pristine, untouched condition. The 1995 penny is not considered rare in the traditional sense. Its production numbers were extremely high. This means that in general circulation, this coin is common, and examples in average or poor condition are found everywhere from your pocket to old coin jars across the UK. However, condition plays a crucial role. While most circulated 1995 pennies will hold little to no premium value, uncirculated examples, particularly those that have been carefully preserved since the time of minting, can command attention from collectors looking to complete sets or seek high-grade examples for display purposes. What can make a 1995 penny more collectible are factors such as perfect uncirculated condition, brilliant uncirculated mint sets, errors or anomalies during minting, a complete lack of wear, scratches, or discoloration. Coins with doubling, misalignments, planchet flaws, or incomplete strikes are extremely rare and, if authenticated, can fetch significantly higher prices. However, no major errors are commonly associated with this year's issue. Let's talk about grading, which refers to a coin's condition and level of preservation. Coins are typically assessed on a scale ranging from poor, P1, to mint state, MS 70. For the 1995 penny, poor to fine, P1 to F12, these coins are heavily worn, dirty, scratched, and may even have corrosion. In this condition, the coin's value is strictly face value. 1 penny, very fine to extremely fine, VF20 to EF45 coins in this range still show signs of wear but have retained some of their original detail. These may be of minor interest to casual collectors. About uncirculated to mint state, -50 Australian dollars to MS 70. These are coins that show minimal to no wear. They often come from coin rolls or original mint sets. At these grades, the value can increase considerably. As of the year 2025, a typical circulated 1995 penny holds minimal monetary value, usually less than £1 or just above face value, especially in bulk quantities. However, a mint state or uncirculated example may be worth between £2 to £10, depending on the sharpness of strike, color, and overall eye appeal. Proof versions, though uncommon, especially if found in original presentation cases, can command slightly higher prices, particularly among collectors who specialize in decimal-era coins. Exceptional examples submitted to professional grading services and returned with a grade of MS 65 or higher could sell for more. Though this is rare due to the low cost of the coin and the high cost of grading. In 2025, the numismatic market is largely driven by rarity, silver and gold content, historical significance, and public interest in specific monarchs or events. The 1995 one-penny coin does not possess precious metal content, and it does not commemorate a special event. However, due to the passing of Queen Elizabeth II and the transition to King Charles III coinage, interest in earlier Elizabethan issues has seen a mild resurgence. Coins featuring Queen Elizabeth II, especially those from earlier in her reign, are increasingly collected as a way of preserving historical continuity and royal heritage. While the 1995 penny is not likely to spike in value dramatically, it still holds emotional and historical weight. It represents a time of stability, the midpoint of Queen Elizabeth's long reign, and a period of transition in the UK both economically and culturally. In collector circles, interest in completing full decimal sets is growing, and many younger collectors are turning to low-cost entries into the hobby. This makes the 1995 penny a great introductory coin, affordable, accessible, and steeped in symbolic value. Its true value lies not in rarity or metal content, but in its story, its symbolism, and its place in modern numismatic history. For collectors, it represents a critical piece of a larger puzzle, a token of a bygone era when the Queen's image was the defining feature of every coin in the realm. If you have one of these coins lying around, check its condition. You might just have a high-grade example worth setting aside. And if you're just starting your collecting journey, this is a perfect first step into the captivating world of British coinage. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on coin values, histories, and tips from the world of numismatics. Until next time, keep collecting, keep exploring, and always look closely, because history is often hidden in plain sight.